Ladies and gentlemen, there's a few real jewels in the St. Louis area, and there's some perks of having a podcast is to be able to talk to a very nice person, coach, an authoritarian, a virtuoso in his own path. The great and my friend, soon to be our friend, Dave Aronberg, ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on? What's going on, Wales? This is great. It's great to be here. I think this might be, is this number third time maybe?
Well, yeah. I mean, besides Terry Minkler, you're the go-to guy.
Is it like Saturday Night Live where you get a jacket after a certain number of appearances? And is there some special club I get to be in?
Oh, absolutely, baby. You know it. You know it.
Well, hey, any club that includes Terry Minkler, that's a great club to be in. So, honor to be on again. With you.
Yeah, Dave. You bring so much, man. Once you stop bringing, baby, you know. But yeah, you really got it going on, and I just follow your lead type of thing, and it's the hot summer that comes to the fall sports that. It's getting to be school time.
It is. We're looking at we're less than 2 weeks away from tryouts. So it's here, it's upon us.
Yeah. And you've had Ram camp, I suppose, a lot of boys and girls camps in the Ladue area.
Yeah, we do. So in our summer, we're allowed 20 contact days, and we utilize all of them. So this is our last week of summer training. It's been the boys are motivated. I bet we're averaging 50 to 60 kids every time that we meet. So got a lot of kids that are going to be coming out. We're probably going to be looking at somewhere around 90 kids trying out this fall, and we'll get it going.
Right. But under full disclosure, but you have a personal camp that for grade schoolers and anybody and everybody. Am I correct or wrong?
No, I actually, you know what? I've never dipped my toe into the youth area. I probably should. I'm sure there'd be interest and get, a lot of people out there, but the summer is my time to recharge. So I try to take as much family times and breaks because with this whole soccer gig and doing the boys and the girls, it's a year-round thing. So
okay, that's a very nice trade-off, and because I was privy to you spent several weeks in an RV with the family, baby.
we did a nice little long RV trip. Never done an RV before. 7 people in an RV is a bit much, but we survived. So I'm here to tell the tale.
Yeah,
and
you are, yeah, baby.
I think we'll probably won't do an RV trip in the near future, but it was fun. It was fun while it happened. So
yeah, right on. Trip of a lifetime, they say.
That's right.
Well, you are the reigning Class 3 Missouri State champion.
Yeah.
And that starts you off. And then it's another year you got that inner belt series going on.
That's
with
right.
Clayton.
Yeah. We actually, and this year with Clayton, we're going to play them twice. We go up to Quincy at the beginning of the season to do a tournament, and I found out that Clayton's going up there too. So we're actually going to play Clayton in Quincy.
Wow!
one of our first games of the year is going to be a big rivalry game in Quincy. So
yeah. For the people that don't understand, or are curious, That's a nice little trip that you take to Quincy, Illinois. I guess you spend one night or two nights or what?
Yeah, we've been doing this since probably all the way back in 20, I don't know, 13. It's kind of become a Ladue tradition. It's a great way to kind of kick off the school year, great team bonding. We take the trip to Quincy. It's about a 2-hour drive. There's really good competition there. Quincy and Quincy Notre Dame typically are in this tournament. There's years where they are very highly ranked. Quincy Public School was nationally ranked a couple times that we went up there. QND, Quincy Notre Dame, routinely wins state in their class in Illinois. And they've always thrown in some other competition. So it's great. We play 3 games up there. It's a good way for me to kind of figure out what we have and, what formations and what players need to be on the field, and really kicks the year off right.
Yeah, and the fella, some type of coach with the Quincy Notre Dame, he has the Gateway Classic or Legacy that had it was in St. Louis, and then he's moved out to Montana or North Dakota or something. Are you familiar with that guy?
Yeah, shoot, and you're putting me on the spot, and I'm blanking on his name right now. But he was the assistant at Quincy Public High, actually.
Oh, okay.
And so they had Coach Longo, who was there for years and years and years, and his assistant was the one that kind of helped run the Gateway Classic, and then actually that turned into the Tournament of Champions, but not the one that was held in St. Louis. He moved it to Iowa, actually.
Okay,
so
there it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pretty fancy. That gets all the top seniors in the country.
Yeah, and actually, he still helps run the high school All-American game.
Yeah,
so,
that's what it is.
He's well connected. Does a really good job. We're kind of cut from the same cloth. Very, very big proponents of high school sports, and trying to make sure that the spotlight is shined appropriately.
Boom, boom. Yeah. And so there you have it. You do that. And then what conference are you in, Dave?
So we're in the suburban. There's 4 suburban conferences. They do it a little differently now. There's 32 suburban schools in the St. Louis area, I believe, and they kind of run it like a pro rel, where you take the top 6 to 8 teams. That's in the yellow pool. Then the next 8-ish teams are in the red pool, and then I think it's blue and green are the 2 other pools. So this year we're in the red. We've been in the yellow before, but we had a span where we were getting clobbered in yellow, so we got relegated down to red, and then all the teams were mad because last year we were really good. We didn't win our conference last year, but we went undefeated against all the teams in the yellow. So it's kind of an oddity, you know how things change year to year. So but it's a 2-year cycle, so we're in the red again, and if we do well again, we'll probably be promoted up to yellow next year. So
now, do they take all the sports combined or individually?
It's all individual. So you could be in the yellow for soccer, but you could be in the lowest for softball. I really like, to me, it's the way that Misha should run, the state tournament, but I digress.
That's a future podcast, baby. We get that.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. So you got one coming, and that's how you do it. You're always a 2 for 1 Dave, baby. All right then. So there you have it, and now about the Saint, because you've been a big proponent and really we're one of the leaders of the St. Louis High School Champions League. And you're in that pool. And
yeah, we're really excited. The girls got to be in the spring, so they got a taste of it. And the boys, we didn't qualify for the first one in the fall. So we're excited to be in it this year in the fall. Our pool, as they all are, is super tough. We have CBC, We have Fort Zumwalt West, and then we have Vianney. So that's a state championship rematch game in the pool play.
I mean, I tell you, that seems like I didn't look at the schedule, but that's the game of the day, like night. If you ain't at that game, baby, you're kind of missing out on high school soccer. Holy,
Yeah, I mean, and the cool thing about Champions League too is, so we already had all three games on our schedule. Like we were already going to play CBC, Vianney, and Fort Zumwalt West. But now you put a little bit more oomph on the games because they're obviously with the Champions League, and those games are going to be super exciting. CBC we beat last year. I'm sure they're going to be gunning for us. Obviously, Vianney we beat in the state championships. They'll be gunning for us. Fort Zumwalt West actually beat us last year, so that's going to be a little bit more important on our side, I guess. So three really good games, and then you go from there.
yeah. Now, I don't have the pool in front of me, but when you win it, the pool, who do you play for the
Oh,
Final Four?
that's a great question. I need to look back at the pools too. I
Okay.
mean, the focus is on the pool right now. So on the girls' side, we didn't advance. That's whatever team gets to be the first to advance out of pool play is going to have a special little asterisk next to their name. The first
Right.
one to advance. So that's really the goal. That's all we're looking at right now is who who can get
Right.
out. But yeah, I'm
Well,
not sure. We're in Pool D. We would play whoever is the Pool C.
yeah.
Um,
And I have
but
it
I don't.
now. I have it, Dave. You would play the winner of Clayton, Webster, Slough High, and Chaminade.
Yeah, real easy teams you got there.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Can you imagine a Ladue Clayton's Champions League semifinal?
I tell you,
Be
I just
tasty.
got goosebumps when I saw it. Yeah, baby. I mean, there you go. I mean, you can't find a neutral place in this town.
No, no. Yeah, I mean it's great. The Champions League is really, I think, for us just doing this in year two, it's been a smashing success. I think what I've been probably the most impressed with, like I knew there'd be interest. I knew that the public would be into it. If you look at the crowds for these semifinals and championship games, I mean they were huge. But the way the kids have really gotten into it has been impressive to me because I mean I can just tell you from the spring how excited my girls were to participate and I think it's really taken off on the kids side too.
Right on. Just far as taking a Catholic slant to this, you knew the sermons were good if the servers were still awake.
Right, exactly.
But you have it is that, man, they are fired up.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing for a bunch of us old coaches to be like, "Hey guys, this is great," but
Yeah,
it doesn't mean much if the kids aren't getting into it. The kids are into it though, and
exactly.
it's moving the needle on the kids side, and that's what the purpose was.
Exactly. Uh, so here you go. The great trek up to Quincy. And is that Longo the same Longo from Quincy University?
They have there is a lineage there. Yep.
Wow.
Um, Now he's not the coach anymore, but he when we first started going up there, he was the coach of the Quincy Public School. Coach Reese is actually the one on Quincy Notre Dame that runs the tournament now. So, and he again, there's a big lineage of great soccer there. Quincy has pretty deep roots in soccer, so it's impressive.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we have that meatball out there. Now, there's different ways to serve it. Is that you have it all together and there's peak. How are you approaching this far as uh, any numbers on more numbers on your roster or a particular, you know, your coaching philosophy with this all in, meaning the tournament, the uh, the Champions League, the conference, the district, and the state?
Yeah, I think. Well, I think I'm understanding your question. The high school season is a marathon. It's a fast marathon. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Yeah.
it's truncated schedule, and you got a lot of games. I typically keep a pretty big team because we know that you can't start off so fast that you're burnt out midway of the season. You got to peak at the right time. So we typically will keep anywhere from 22 to 25 field players, and we make sure that those kids are getting their chances throughout the season, so that by the time we get to the postseason, we've kind of focused in on who our top 16 to 18 are to help us in the postseason. Um, there are lots of opportunities. One of the beauties of high school is there's lots of opportunities, lots of games for these kids to get time and grow. So that's one of the great parts of high school soccer. I think one of the unique things of this year, and how as coaches we really have to formulate the right culture here, is how we approach being the defending state champions. I think all the kids, when you're young, you just think you can win state every year, and I know how difficult that is, and it's going to be very different being hunted. I mean, you spent years coaching at CBC. You guys are hunted every year, so that's a different mindset when everyone's coming after you, rather than you're the hunter and you're the underdog going after other teams. So I think that mindset's going to be a little bit different for our kids this year, where we're not going to have a team that takes a night off against us. Every team is going to be coming after us this year. We're going to have to be really mentally tough, I think, this year. And I think the other thing that's going to be interesting, I think there's a chance that we're Class 4 actually this year. Our enrollment, our enrollment's been growing. A lot of construction going on in the Ladue district, and we're kind of right on that edge of Class 3, Class 4. So when the districts come out this year, there's going to be some extra intrigue, because I think it could be a coin flip for us to be Class 3 or Class 4.
Wow. And you won't know until that time?
No, and we don't know till the districts are revealed, which is the Friday before games start.
I
So
thought they would tell you what district you're in, but not the class.
no, they don't. They know nothing. We know nothing. So
That's literally come and show me state. Yeah.
right.
Oh man. Well,
So
okay.
there will be some intrigue when those are released.
Yes, absolutely. And now, here it is at Wales Certified. It's a world premiere. Please tell us, Dave, how do people get to see you play? Because you usually don't play at Ladue Senior High School.
Yeah. Well, so this is actually interesting. We have a lot of construction going on at it's our fifth grade center, where that's our home base. But because they're building new tennis courts there, and they're turfing the baseball field, all this stuff's going on, we will actually play all of our games, our home games, at the high school this year, which is very unique. So every game's a prime time under the lights this year. So
wow, baby, nice.
yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, our schedule, I think almost every one of our home games is a 7 p.m. under the light at the high school.
Wow.
At Wembley.
Yes. At the fifth grade center, it's got Becky Sauerbrunn. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah. Becky Sauerbrunn Field.
Yeah, I mean, you get goosebumps playing it on there,
It's great. It's great. I took the girls team out here in, I guess it was May, because she had her retirement celebration in St. Louis with the national team. It's just, again, just to have a player of her caliber that we can say she's one of ours is amazing. And she's such a good human. I mean, a great ambassador for Ladue. So
Right, absolutely. And hats off to her. Here we go.
A great career.
Yes. So here we go. When you have the tryout, do you say, hey, really the coaching has stopped until after tryouts. I want to see you shine, man.
Yeah, tryouts it's evolved over the years, and you've probably witnessed this too, Wales. When they didn't used to have these contact days in the summer, right? So legitimately, when tryouts happened, it might have been the first time that you saw kids since the previous year. Well, now with these 20 contact days, I've seen most of the kids that are trying out now for 20 days. And while those aren't tryouts, they've helped us as coaches kind of evaluate players. So the actual tryout now, I think, is a little less pressure. I think it is good for the kids, instead of them having to shine in a 3-day window, I've already gotten to see them 20 times,
Uh-huh.
so that's a nice, I think it's a nice thing for the kids. It's also nice on us coaches that we don't have to try to go off of 3 days or whatever of tryouts.
Right.
But yeah, I agree with you. Typically our tryouts, we let them play. I'll throw a few drills here and there, but I just kind of want to see what they can do on the field. And, at Ladue, we don't say like, oh, are you a midfielder? Are you a forward? Like, I just want to see you play soccer, and I'm going to take the best soccer players that show up. So
Nice, nice. And are you a big fan of saying, gentlemen, every time you walk around, every moment of every time you're here, you are making some type of impression.
oh yeah. I mean, when we do our evaluation process, which is, we try to be objective. We have 10 different categories that we're kind of judging the kids on. A couple of those categories have nothing to do with soccer. Like attitude is one of the categories. Coachability is one of the categories. So, you might have this super talented kid that is just not coachable. That's going to knock them down from that aspect. So yeah, the little things really matter in our program.
Nice. That's beautiful. Because that's a standard, man. You know, that's a standard.
Right,
And
right.
I can attest. You are, before I forget, for God's sakes, I don't know where it's at, but I know this. You're well certified, baby. You're well certified. I mean, the Rams, man, they come at you. Game on. Strap your boots. Tighten up your boots, because it's going to be game on, man. So, and not everybody can do that.
I think that's kind of what I was going back to. I feel like we've always kind of been the plucky little underdog, and we've embraced that rule. And so now it's the mindset kind of changes, right? Where, well, now we're winning a lot of games in one state, and so we got to make sure that we're not getting complacent and content, and we got to keep that same blue collar mentality when we approach all the opponents in the games. It's going to be super tough this year. I don't know how. I would love to talk to Terry Mickler and yourself about. I mean, you guys are used to being hunted every year. It's just a different feeling, right? So
Oh yeah,
I think that's going to be. I mean, there's never a game where a team is overlooking CBC, So
yeah, yeah.
that's where we're at now. So that's going to be a change, I think, for a lot of the kids.
And there are times when there's more than just the field. The play, the ball.
Right.
The ball flipping around. You know, is that as long as they stay in the game, if you don't put them away early, they're coming around and they're gonna knock you down.
Right.
The ball or you are gonna get past me, but not both.
I mean, I'll personally, we play these summer friendlies. I think I usually schedule about 7 summer friendlies throughout the summer. And so, coaches that I'm friendly with will go and we'll play games, little scrimmages, coaches are the refs, whatever. And those are typically pretty low stakes. It doesn't get that heated. We played a few summer friendlies this year where, like, I could tell those other teams, it was almost like playoff atmosphere. And like after the game,
Yeah,
I'm like, guys, they were happy to beat us in the summer. What do you think it's going to be like in the fall? So
yeah, baby.
there's going to be a lot of teams that they're going to circle that Ladue game and say, this is our state champion right here.
Well said. Yeah.
This is the one we're going after. And I know that I've circled us playing CBC before and said, like, guys, this is the feather in our cap, So it's just different to be on that other side.
Yeah, and just the whole overall culture, the standards. You had throughout the ranks some very, very talented players and very good young men. How about their graduation? How does that all come into your play for this season?
Are you saying, like, who did we lose, or what are we?
Yeah, lose, gain.
Yeah, well, we lost. Well, we lost basically 80% of our scoring graduated. So our seniors were by and large attacking players. We did have one of our best players was a center back, so we did lose a center back. But besides that, we lost our attacking center mid. We lost our number 9. We lost two of our wingers. So I mean, the attack is definitely what needs to be rebuilt. But on the flip side, I got 2 kids that are coming back from academy that are joining high school again. So there's kind of that ebb and flow all the time where we lose kids and then kids come back, and this is the beauty of high school soccer, right? It's who shows up and let's roll.
Yeah. How about your goalkeeping athlete? Is he back again?
He's back. So my goalie is a D1 baseball player, who I think could be a great goalie if he wanted to go that route. But baseball is his number 1. But man, he's a calming influence between the pipes for us.
Yes.
So he's coming back. He'll be a senior, and we have a couple other goalies, actually, his backups, that will be very, very good goalies too.
Oh, beautiful.
So, and that, I'm not a goalie coach, and I know that's your realm. So as a coach, when I get a good goalie, holy cow, talk about putting my mind at ease.
Well, how about your assistant staff? Do they allow you one?
We don't have a specific spot for a goalie coach. I could hire, there would be an assistant who'd worked with goalies. But basically on our staff, we all just kind of take turns working with goalies. I'll be honest, I do a lot of, I've told you this personally off air, Wales, like I don't do a ton of one-on-one technical work with the goalies. We incorporate the goalies into all our drills essentially. So there's a lot of, small game work that the goalies are getting, lots of action, that kind of stuff.
Right.
But I've kind of gone away from the model of goalies go off with this coach for an hour and then we'll see you again. Like the goalies are always incorporated with our team. So.
Oh yeah, that's the state of the art, Dave. But who's on your staff?
Coach Prang is the assistant. He actually used to be the varsity head coach. So he was at Ladue as the head coach, I don't know, 14, 15 years. Then he stepped away to kind of help raise his family. And now his son is actually in high school. He'll be a senior this year. So he came back a couple years ago because he would like to coach his son. And so I welcomed him with open arms because I was his assistant back in the day.
Wow.
So he's now my assistant. So it's kind of come full circle. That's been great. And I mean, he was a very successful head coach. So it's kind of like we have two head coaches on the staff. On my JV level, I've got John Cross has been with me for as long as I've been a head coach. Played some soccer at Culver Stockton, really good soccer mind. Then we brought Phil Cotta, who actually was the girls varsity head coach at Kirkwood. So now he's on the JV level. So we have all these former head coaches that are on the staff. I mean, it's a great staff to be a part of.
Beautiful. And how about has the uniform changed to get a star or get a ram on it, or what do you?
So we have, I don't know how it works in the private schools, but for us, we do a 3-year cycle. So we're on year 3 of the same uniform, which, by the way, I mean, this uniform has got us to state championship game twice. So I don't know if we want to get rid of this uniform. We have changed. We have updated the star on the crest on a lot of our spirit wear, but the uniforms will still just say Ladue on them. So no change, no
Nice.
change there.
Beautiful. All right. So you got less than 10 minutes with me?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So here we go, Dave. Is that you got all the business, and you know it, and they know it. Now, how about those little deals that just is unbelievable to witness through Facebook, social media, of your Ram, the best Ram of the day, all your awards you give every game? Can you
Yeah,
enlighten?
those are fun. So on the boys' side, we typically give out Ram hats. We'll do 3 players of the game. There's these goofy, fluffy Ram hats, and the thing is, the boys have to then wear them to school the next day. So it's a it's a fun way for them. The kids. It's a badge of honor, but it's also a little bit of a joke that you obviously are going to get some attention because you're wearing this big floppy Ram hat, and but then the kids at school know you played a heck of a game before. So that's we've been doing that for probably about 9 years. I feel like I was one of the first in
Oh,
the area to start
absolutely.
kind of doing this stuff. Now everyone gives out chains and
Okay.
this, that, and the other,
All
but
right.
that was something that we started a long time ago. And it's been fun. I don't know. The girls did never want to do the hats, so we started giving out goat chains, which I guess it's kind of like a ram. But so those player of the games would wear this big gaudy gold goat chain around school the next day. So it's just fun. I mean, I think when you talk about high school sports, one of the bonuses, one of the pluses is that tie into the community. So trying to figure out ways for the kids to connect with their peers and get some of that spotlight at school. I mean that's one of the fun parts of high school. Because when you're at your club, like the truth of the matter is your peers don't really care that much what you just did in your club. Like it's that's a total other entity. But when you're representing your school, there's a lot of pride that goes into that. So we try to still have the individual spotlight when they're doing things for the team.
Well, for as an overall vibe, you all got it going on, home or away, with your community that you bring.
It's been great. One of my big pushes now, actually, and I think Ladue has not done a great job at this overall. We're trying to do a lot of things to tie in with our alumni. So that's kind of been my big push for this year. I'm about to put some record boards up at our field that showcase, our top scorers, our top, you know,
Yeah.
goals, assists, all that stuff. But because again, when you think about what is the advantage of playing high school, it is that longevity and that tie to the past. And so yeah, when you come to the West Campus next year, you'll see some leaderboards that kind of showcase our best teams and our best players. Another thing that I'm trying to spearhead at Ladue is starting a soccer Hall of Fame where we highlight, just the great players that have come through. So I think a lot of schools have actually done a really good job with this. Ladue is kind of behind the times, so I'm trying to play catch up in that role.
Nice. And so we're getting closer to wrap up. But far as all that happening, is that is there a way to be able to bridge everything that has happened in the last several years to you mentioned academy players coming back, Forrest, do you see a bonding, a bridge building opportunity?
I actually think I think the pendulum is starting to swing back to high school. Actually, Wales. I think high school has shown in the last few years here that we are a competitive outlet and that we help develop the player. And I think there is a home for high level players in high school soccer. So I don't think it really shouldn't be a academy arm wrestle with high school. I really don't. But I think what you're starting to see is as kids and parents start to see more of the realities of the situation, they are understanding that there is a place for their players, for the kids in the high school landscape. So I have personally seen, I don't know if you've seen this too, but I've seen kind of a migration back to high school for a lot of these high level players. And I think because of things like the Champions League and the Best 11, and, I think just a lot of high school coaches just upping their game. I mean, if you look around the area, I mean, it's not just like Dave Aronberg. Like there's a ton of high school coaches that are doing great things at their high school. I make this point all the time. I think there's 50 high schools in the metro area that on any given day could beat someone else.
Yeah.
So if you go to any of those 50 high schools, why not play high school soccer? Like that's kind of been my charge. I mean, I think there are cases where maybe you don't play at a competitive school, and if that's the case, okay, go play academy or someplace that's going to challenge you. But by and large, 40, 50 schools in the metro area that you're going to get great competitive soccer, and you're going to grow as a person and a player. And so to me, I think that's the landscape right now that we're seeing. And I think the kids are starting to realize that, man, I'm only a kid one time, and high school is irreplaceable. Like you cannot replace that experience that you get in high school. And so, the quicker we push these kids into a professional environment and, let's look forward, they're missing out on their best times. Like that's always been my point. So, and I think what the high school coaches by and large that are doing here with, like Greg Keller really spearheading the Champions League, like all of these things are providing more outlets for those competitive players to then say, okay, I have a home in the high school game.
I'm sorry, man. But the Best 11, I tripped over it. I didn't mention it. But this Best 11, baby, holy cow. Congratulations, you big lug. That was...
Man, that has surprised me. I thought it was going to be a cool little thing, but it has grown. And I mean, this past spring, what we were able to do with the Best 11, we took it to levels I wasn't even prepared to take it to. So, I mean, essentially what the Best 11 has now become, you have a weekly Players of the Week, and we've expanded that now to have a first team and second team. All right, so that's really cool. JD Anderson and the Soccer Dad Pod has done a great job of highlighting a player then every week, and they have a little interview, so that's kind of cool. You get like a featured player. Then, because the Post-Dispatch, who I love the Post-Dispatch, Chris Gove, good friend of mine, he's a sports editor there. Because they've been slashing positions there, though, they aren't shining the same light on the high school game that used to be there. So we've kind of, at the Best 11, kind of tried to pick up the slack where the Post-Dispatch has just lost resources. So we started doing a coaching poll because, every week I always looked forward to what the coach, I guess it wasn't a coaching poll in the Post-Dispatch, but they would come out with a weekly poll of the best teams. Well, they stopped doing that. So we now have a coaches poll that's run through the Best 11 for the top 25 teams in the metro area. That, by the way, was very accurate. I think the top 2 or 3 schools in the spring from the coaches poll all won state. So the coaches were voting appropriately. So that's been cool. I just think we're kind of trying to fill the gaps of where the Post-Dispatch has maybe lost some of their resources and abilities.
Yeah. And can you just briefly tell us all about the new changes in the college recruiting and so forth, and that how the social media network in your school and in the conference and around town is elevated?
Well, tons of stuff is done on social media now, which I think is one of the reasons why the Best 11 has skyrocketed. So what's been kind of cool, and when you talk about recruiting, is a lot of these kids now, when they get to the Best 11, they're starting to put that in their bio, so I've seen kids when they're getting recruited, like 2-time STL Best 11 recipient, we ran like an all Metro STL Best 11, very prestigious team to be on. So again, when kids are getting on that team, they're using it as as part of their recruitment process. Um, from my side, because I run the Instagram page, it's unbelievable, Wales, to see the engagement that happens when I put a post out. I mean, we're talking 50,000 plus views on a post. And because I can see the people that are viewing it, there's college coaches that are viewing and liking the STL Best 11. So, this thing, it's really great all around. Obviously, it helps bump up the high school game. It really helps bump the high school athlete. These colleges are now getting to see their players that they're recruiting shine on a stage. So, I mean, everyone kind of gets a bit of the pie, which I think is one of the reasons why it's been so successful.
Beautiful. And is there, say, like you were doing the Instagram, so is there a department, is there a class, is there a group like the managers? Is there a social media group at Ladue?
Yeah, that group's name is Dave Aronberg. Yeah,
Well, pardon me
nice.
while I stand up and applaud.
That is a labor of love. So all those things that are going on with the Best 11, that's me behind the scenes helping to run it. So, I mean, I've probably added conservatively 3 to 4 hours worth of social media work a week just on that Best 11 stuff. And I don't say this I do it because I love it. I mean, honestly. So I don't get paid for it. There's no monetary stuff from it. This was a labor of love where I saw a need for high school athletes to get the spotlight, and I had kind of the ability to kind of pull the coaches together, and here we go.
All right, then. So it comes up at inset, Dave, is that moment of when whatever you want to say to who you ever want to say it to for as long as you want to say it for. This is your opportunity.
Well, Wales, I'm running out of things because this is my third time. No, I mean, my message, listen, I feel like I'm like a politician. It's like, stay on message. My message is always the same. The high school soccer game is where it's at. And we're in a very strong place right now. So, to high school coaches that are out there listening, come be a part of it. Come participate. The Best 11 is only successful because the high school coaches are nominating and voting on players. So that part hinges on the high school coaches being active participants. To kids that are listening, you're going to have an amazing experience in high school. And that doesn't mean that you're going to win all the time, but you're going to find competitive outlets that are going to help you grow as a person and a player. And I just think when you look at the landscape overall right now, the high school game is healthy. There are still things that I'd love to have done at the state level that are above my head. And that's kind of maybe the next hurdle. But I think as far as what we can control, I think high school coaches by and large have really done a great job of working collaboratively to really help the game out.
Beautiful. Well, I look forward to following you on social media and also to get out there underneath the lights at the Ladue and be able to review your concession stand.
There you go. It's a beautiful field. I mean, we don't get to play there much, but the high school is a beautiful environment. Great video board, and it's a great, cool place to play soccer too. So
all right,
we're looking forward to it.
All right. So the best to you and yours, Dave. You're really doing well. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much, Wales.
All right.